Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I am here with an album review, and today I'm going to be reviewing ATLiens by Outkast. I have the vinyl record right here. We will be taking a closer look at the vinyl record in a second, but so obviously I'm still a kid. You're probably wondering, oh, you're a kid, what the hell do you know about hip-hop?
But me, I do know quite a lot of things about hip-hop. I do listen to a lot of hip-hop, and I love hip-hop, and I especially love ATLiens.
Hopefully I'll do a decent job of explaining this album from my point of view. Just like quick information about the record just before we start. It was released in August 27th, 1996 by Andre 3000 and Big Boy, a group called Outkasts, and most of the album was produced by Organized Noise, but I think they produced about 3/4 of the album, and the rest was produced by Earth Tone 3, which I think is like a group that has Andre 3000 and Big Boy within it. And I think they produced Jazzy Bell and Elevators. And it was also their second studio album by Outkast. They first released in 1994. I think it's Southern Playlistic Cadillac Music, which is sort of more of a normal sort of 90s album, what you would expect from a 90s album. This album is something that the 90s rap industry had never seen before. Crazy, complex flows with melodic rap music. It was really different, and I feel like this album has really sort of influenced a lot of new rappers. I wouldn't say it's as well known. When you think of Outkast to a normal person point of view, they would think of like Miss Jackson and like Hey Ya the songs, because they obviously blew up again in the 2000s of those two songs. But in my opinion, I feel like this is their best album. Quemini would probably come in at number 2, I would say. Also, this album in general really helped me get into hip-hop music more, because whenever I go into my Spotify stats, my all-time most listened songs are either ATLiens or Wheels of Steel. So I feel like if I hadn't listened to this album, then I doubt I would be as into hip hop as I am now. Because as you can see up there, like if you've seen the videos on my record collection, then you would understand that I love hip hop loads. If you want to see my whole record music based videos, then go check up there. That's the whole playlist, my whole record collection. I'm going to be doing a couple more album reviews in the future, so they will all be up there when they are released. The beats, especially from this album, I love the most, I think, because they're so melodic. They don't sound anything like a rap album from the 90s, in my opinion. It really sounds like a movie soundtrack, and I love this sort of Egyptian vibe that for some reason the music beats give off to me. Obviously, I got that from the music video of ATLiens. They're, not investigating, but they're searching in a Egyptian pyramid, I'm guessing, searching a tomb. In my opinion, I feel like the flow, Andre 3000's flow, is just breaking the scale of like craziness compared to like Southern Playlistic Cadillac Music. Before we get into the songs, we will take a closer look at the vinyl record, so let's do that. So guys, here we have the vinyl record. As you can see, it is absolutely amazing. Cover art is just so cool. It's definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, I'd have to say at the moment my favourites are probably this album itself, and maybe Liquid Swords by GZA, because that album is it's a really good album as well, and I just love the cover art so much. So let's take a little closer look. So first of all, the cover art is just iconic. It's amazing. Like I just said, is definitely my favourite. If we turn it over, this is the track list. So we have the original album here. Each side we have all the way up to side H, which is pretty mad. That's quite a lot. We have the executive producers, Organized Noise. Then here we have the instrumental versions. But yeah, let's open this up. So a cool thing about this is that it has a really unique way of how you get the records out themselves. So if you're a vinyl record collector like me, you'd be familiar with the normal standard way of taking them out from the side, just like taking them out like this. But some of them also open up like a book, and they come from each side of the angles. But this one is actually really weird, because obviously, as you can see, you cannot take it out from the side. You actually open it up like this, and the records come out from here. So not only is this really unique, it's also very safe when you're when you're like holding it, or when you're trying to take it down from a display or where you keep them. They will not fall out the side, since this corner here is protecting them from coming out. So that's really unique, really cool, and really safe. So I really like that. Another thing I really like is the black and white photo of the front cover. Here we can see what's actually going on. We don't have the Outkast and ATLiens signs here, so we can see what's going on. Also, Big Boy doesn't have his hat on, so that's a little difference between the two. Obviously it's in black and white, but still I think that's a really cool addition to the vinyl record. Also here we have the bios of the rappers, Andre 3000 and Big Boy. Here we have Greeting Earthlings, so I'm guessing these dudes are aliens. I really like reading these. It's sort of like a fun little addition to the record, and yeah, I love it so much. So yeah, here we have their superpowers, their allies, the weight, the height. I really love that. And what's also cool is that it's really easy to get the records out. There's a lot of space in here. It's not like really tight. So most records that I have, like, I really need to kind of pull, and I need to sort of press each side to make it higher, but this one, it just easily slips out just like that. So really easy. Another thing that I love about this is that they have comics on the record covers themselves. Now the records themselves are just normal black vinyl, but yeah, just look at the comics. It's so cool. Here we have the track list with all the produced, the published, blah blah blah. But yeah, the comics continue on with each record. I think I haven't actually got around to reading it, but I do need to. So yeah, that's really cool. Obviously on the last record we have all the last songs, and then here, to be continued, it ends, and then here we have all of the things that Outkast want to sort of shout out and thank for, I guess. So yeah, here we have Outkast would like to thank, Organized Noise for their productions, and then we have musical influences. We have Prince, Bob Marley, Led Zeppelin, Nirvana, which really surprised me. They also have, the obvious Ice Cube, NWA, Eric B and Rakim, Jimi Hendrix, stuff like that. But yeah, I really love this. I like reading it. It's really interesting. And yeah, so overall the quality of this record is really good. I'd give it a 10 out of 10, really well thought, really unique, and I love it so much. But there are a couple of cons. So one of the cons is that the record sleeves aren't that protective. So some vinyls, if they are like quite expensive, the record sleeves themselves would have a sheet of like a certain type of plastic which keeps the record safe. But this is just, it's really like sort of firm paper. So I feel like if I did not have this here, then I think my record might get damaged. So I definitely recommend you guys to get one of these. I'll put the link in the description down below. It's not a major con, but it's just like if you really want to keep this record for a while and you want to keep it safe, then I definitely recommend you get it. Another thing is the record is very large. It's too large to fit an ordinary record jacket cover. So for example, this is a Tupac's All Eyes on Me record in it, and it's the same. It has 4 records in it, but I can actually fit a record sleeve on this to keep the sleeve safe. So I have one of these little plastic cases, but this I can't actually fit it on because it's just too large. I'm sure that someone out there would be selling, large record sleeves that would fit this, but I can't find any, but I will do some more research. Another thing is, it would be good if they had a 2 LP version, because this has 4 LPs. A lot of people like me, like people who don't DJ and stuff like that, don't really need the instrumentals. I don't really know what the instrumentals are for, whether someone's going to sample them or use them for like a turntable setup with DJs and stuff like that. But I didn't really need the instrumentals, but I found this on a sale for £27, so I got it anyway. And the last thing is, it's very expensive. Obviously there's 4 LPs on it. I think if you're gonna get it from HMV, it's about £70. It was a miracle that I found this for 27. So yeah, 27 in complete new condition is an absolute bargain, and I was so happy that I found it. But yeah, overall I would give this the record itself a 10 out of 10. Obviously it's too big, but there's not much I can do about that. It is expensive, but I found it for £27, which gives it this 10 out of 10 on the scale. But yeah, obviously it has the really nice way of opening up. It's safe. It has like really cool little additions that they've added to it. And yeah, I love it so much. So now I feel like we can get into the songs. So we won't be going through every single song, we'll just be highlighting the main songs and the songs that I love the most. So first of all, the You May Die intro. For me, I feel like this is so underrated because I literally only recently listened to this intro, because whenever I'd listen to a hip hop album, I would always skip the intros and stuff like that because I never felt like there was a need to listen to it. But then this intro might be the coolest thing from the album in my opinion. I really wanted this to be a song. If this was a song, it would have been perfect. I would have loved to hear Andre 3000 and Big Boy rap over this beat because it's an amazing guitar, maybe a piano riff. I'm sure it is guitar, but then of course there's a lovely female voice singing in it and saying some sort of prayer. I'm not sure what language it is, but at the end I think she says amen, because I've seen the lyrics, but I'm not sure. It's probably like Spanish or something like that. And it gives me again a sort of like an Egyptian / space vibe. And I think it's really underrated. And I think if you really want to get the feel of the album, the melodic feel of the album, then you should definitely listen to the intro. And then, of course, the first song of the album is Two Dope Boys in a Cadillac. This is a very sort of, it's more upbeat compared to the intro. And in this one, they're sort of rapping about, I guess, where they come from. I'm guessing they also, in the chorus, they mention the West Side, East Side beef. So this side, they're doing this, that side, they're doing this. But in the middle Atlanta, where they come from, they're just dropping bombs, they're dropping hits, they're dropping amazing music. I guess they're sort of explaining the route. So the next song, I would say the main song, the most famous song from the album is ATLiens. Again, if you've seen the music video, then you would sort of understand why this gives me an Egyptian vibe. That music video fits so perfectly with the song for some reason, because even before I saw the music video, I had that Egyptian vibe in my head. Probably my favorite song. I might have listened to it a little bit too much, but yeah, that is definitely probably the best song of the album. Definitely the song that got me into hip hop more. And if you were to listen to ATLiens and you were only allowed to listen to one song, then definitely listen to ATLiens. I feel like this would be a perfect movie, because I think Outkast's last album was a movie. I think it's called like Idlewild or Idlewild. I've never listened to it. But yeah, that's a movie, but I would have loved for this to be a movie. I think it would be a perfect sort of like sci-fi movie. The next song is Wheels of Steel. Now this is a very catchy song with a really cool sort of a simple guitar riff that is really catchy. I remember it really clearly. I was doing my revision for a maths test about angles or something like that, and then it was the first time I was listening to the album, and then Wheels of Steel came on, and I remember I just stopped what I was doing and I just listened to that song the whole way through, and that is also such a good song. I'm gonna say it used to be my favorite because I played it like non-stop actually, but yeah, right now we'll get to my favorite song. Wheels of Steel, such a catchy guitar riff and it's really melodic as well. Now we are getting into the song that may be my favorite beat, and it's Jazzy Bell. It's a really nice laid back beat that doesn't really overpower the rapping, because at the start there's obviously that female voice singing. But yeah, Jazzy Bell is amazing. I love it so much. It's another sort of Egyptian vibe for me. I feel like that's because it mentions an Egyptian royal highness at the start of the song. That might be it, but it again gives me an Egyptian image in my mind. So Elevators is the next song after Jazzy Bell. Not my favorite song, but it's set to be the most famous song on the album. I'm guessing it was released as a single. I don't particularly like it, especially the chorus. I remember someone was saying that it sounds like something out of Kendrick Lamar album, something out of like Good Kid, Mad City. I'm not a big fan of Kendrick. He's really good and I listen to his music, but yeah, I don't really like his the style, and of course I don't like the chorus of Elevators. The rest of the song and the beat is alright, but the chorus, like the whole me and you part, I don't particularly like. The chorus is definitely catchy. It's always in the back of my head, but it might be because I've heard it too much. I think as soon as I heard it, I think I knew I didn't like it, but yeah, it's not the word. I think I would have to say it's It's not the worst song on the album, but it's definitely not the best. This isn't the next song after Elevators. I think it's like 2 songs after Elevators. It's Babylon. I think it's pronounced Babylon. Probably I'm gonna say my favorite beat, because this one really reminds me of like a space movie, a sci-fi space movie. The beat is just sort of fantasized and really laid back and just like really mellow, and it really relaxes me. And then the way that Andre 3000 and Big Boy rap over it is just amazing. It's quite a deep song. Big Boy sort of goes into how he, I think, loses his aunt and how he wants like God to bring her back, but obviously he can't because God's taken her away. And then Andre 3000 says something about like cocaine when he was younger, because he was brought into the world high as a bird from secondhand cocaine, so maybe his mum was taking drugs when he was like in the womb. So I'm more like into the hook of the song, the chorus, the woman singing. It's just so cool to me, and I love Star Wars, I love space, and I love Egypt, and I'm really fascinated by everything like that. But this album, in my opinion, just really portrays all of that perfectly. I'm going to say this is my second favorite beat of the album, Babylon, because there's not much of a beat to it. It's more like voice harmonies and stuff like that. But yeah, we're now going to get into the last song, my last favorite song on the album. It's Wailing, my favorite beat on the album. What I hate about this song is that it is so short. It's literally like a 2-minute song. It's too short. It should have been 10 minutes long. The beat is so cool. I love the little voice, the little wailing voice. I'll play it for you. This part really makes the beat for me at this level to like that level for some reason. It's got an amazing bass line which I want to learn. I'm probably gonna try and like listen to it and learn it. Maybe like search it up, someone may be doing a tutorial. But yeah, the bass line is really punchy and really catchy. There's also, I think, a little bit of guitar in there. But yeah, the producing on this album is absolutely immaculate. I don't know what that word means, but I think it means a positive word. But yeah, the producing is just amazing. I love it so much. The use of the bass, the instrument of the bass is just crazy. And obviously the use of the voice and the melodies and stuff is just, it's something else. It's not your average hip-hop album. If you're gonna listen to this album, don't be expecting the average 90s sort of Dr. Dre or like Wu-Tang. Don't be expecting them to be rapping about gangs and killings and like stuff like that, because it just isn't. Because in that time, I think most of the albums were about that. You know, you had like Wu-Tang, basically all Tupac albums were around that time. Notorious B.I.G., Nas, stuff like that. But this isn't really towards that gang stuff. But yeah, in my opinion, this album is easily a 10 out of 10 album. It's amazing how they didn't stick to their sort of normal rapping. I love the way that Andre went from normal to beyond what people would expect with his flows, and he went from like here to there in just like one album. It's a very catchy album that everyone should listen to. Even if they don't like hip hop or not, I feel like everyone should listen to it. I'm gonna leave the rest of the songs for you guys to listen to for yourself and rate yourself and think about for yourself. Easily a 10 out of 10 album, a beautiful album cover. The vinyl is a 10 out of 10, the album is a 10 out of 10. Everything about this is a 10 out of 10. Obviously here and there are those little cons, but yeah, definitely give it a listen. It's an amazing album. Every single song on the album is amazing in its own way. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I did an okay job of explaining this album, because me, like, I'm still sort of in my learning stage, but I do know what this and what that is and all of that stuff. I do need to listen to the lyrics a little bit more. Again, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. The next album that I'm thinking of maybe reviewing is either Illmatic, Enter the Wu-Tang, or some like maybe MF Doom album. But yeah, let me know what you'd like me to review. I do other reviews, not just music reviews. I do other different sort of reviews. Just check out my channel and you'll see all of the reviews that I do, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.